This is an example application to be able to see and track who has not submitted time cards or who has not completed them for a particular period of time. So right here on the dashboard, what we've got is a list of companies here and contacts and what we expect there should have been for time cards, how many are valid, and how many are missing. And the whole nature of this report is to only show me those where the number of missing time cards is greater than 0. So let's go check out and see, let's say, Bullwinkle Moose here. We'll view this. Now, you always have to have a start. When do I have to start paying attention to this to know if something's missing? So this is where we've got a start date here. And also what you want to know is what is the last day of the week that I'm in presently, because I don't want to look at future time cards and know that I've got future time cards that haven't been filled out, because those aren't germane to what we're really monitoring. So I really need to know what is the first day and what is the last day of the window you want to look at, and then how many weeks are in that period of time. And there are 2 weeks since the 1st of September, for instance. And how many time cards exist? Well, those are time cards that either don't exist or that have been given special dispensation because of maybe they have a holiday or a week off or something like that. So there's but you also want to know the ones that do not have any hours logged in them. And down below you can see that there are no time cards. So we've got 2 outstanding here. So if we did add a time card, and let's say we did it for a particular, let's say it's sometime during this first week here, let's say the 2nd here. This is tracking, well, this is the end of the first week. And so when I click on save, you'll notice there are 0 time card hours logged. So it says we have 0 valid time cards. So we still have 2 outstanding time cards. Let's add one for the 2nd week here. So we'll add it for this week, and which is the total valid numbers of them. Well, they're still not figured out here, and we've colorized them up until the point of this week. The future ones are not colorized. Let's grid edit this just for a second and say there was 4 hours in this one, 4 hours in this one. Notice that the minute something calculated an hour in a week, it was considered submitted. I don't know how you can value that unless you say the optimum week is 40 hours. I need 40 hours out of you. So you get to log 40 hours or it's not a valid week. That's another thing you could do. Now, if they're on vacation that week, you could actually put a condition in there that says calculate if there's something above 0 or if it's exempt, in which case these 2 are happy. Let's click on save. And now you can see that we've got an expectation of 2 weeks. We've got 2 weeks that are valid, which means we have 0 time. So Bullwinkle Moose should be out of that report on the dashboard. And here we have no Bullwinkle Moose. Let's look at Acme Staple. There's more cards in this one. Now this one goes back to August 1st. So there's an expectation of 6 weeks to be fulfilled. There's only 3 of them here and 3 outstanding. So we've got a valid week here, here, and here, because we've got some time tracked here. Now these in the pink are present, but they don't have hours, nor are they exempt. If I edited this and I came down and I said this one is exempt and I click save, we're going to shift to a smaller number. Now we only have 2 that are outstanding that we're keeping track of. So that's a way to keep track of the data. Now, how did we get to this spot? Well, very first, remember, we need to be able to have some kind of front end. What is the start date? Well, in that week, what is that first week? There's a potential of this being Sunday of that week. And then what is the last day of our current week? So if I right-click on this, you'll see the last day of the current week is really taking today with the one that we're looking at and looking at what the last day of that week is. Now, when I take the difference between those 2, the expected number of time cards, let's take a look at that one. This one is looking at the last day of the current week and then subtracting the first day of the start week, plus 1. And that gives me all the days. And then I divide it by 7 to make sure I have the right number of weeks. And now I've got to calculate how many weeks we have that are valid time cards. Now this is a summary field, summary, and it's saying count the number of records where the week ending is on or before the current week's date. Now this current week's date gets passed down into the time card, so you're tracking always what the present moment in time is, and you're comparing it against the week ending date of that record, and or there's a valid week is checked. So if it's checked, so it's just counting the number of records that are valid. Now, I need to have the same number of valid records as I do having expected cards. So this is always being measured against what the ideal is, and here's the delta between the two. So if this is greater than 0, you've got a contact here in this scenario that is outstanding.